talks about there will be no affiliated institutions at all in the next 10 years. How far it is going to happen is it's a mammoth task, but there will not be any affiliated colleges like what we normally have now. All of them would be autonomous institutions. Today, roughly, we have 800 universities and 40,000 colleges. What the country looks forward is 15,000 vibrant multidisciplinary university. This is what the people are envisaging, in which they are trying to classify an institution into any one of the three kinds. It can either be a research university where there will be equal focus on research and teaching, or it will be a teaching university where it would be primary focus on teaching and research also will be dealt with. The third one would be autonomous degree granting universities. That's all. So all institutions will have to fall into any one of the three kinds. Now, with this scenario, we need to understand the need for involving the students in the research. So once we think of involving students in the research, there are two things that we need to look at. One is the flexibility that we need to give to the students in terms of time and curriculum. When it comes to time, there is no point in telling the student, okay, I give you only 3 years, do something and get a research degree. No, it doesn't work like that. There can't be a fixed time frame that we can assign. Two, we can't give a fixed curriculum. See, most of the time what we see here is the curriculum is to be completed, and what do we do over and above it? If we still follow that methodology, it will be very difficult to promote research. So we need to give flexibility to the students to do research and give them a flexibility of timing. So with this being a totally new concept for us, what is that we need to at least to know all these outline topics that I am just suggesting today. Every line is a point of discussion that will take a few hours for each topic, but I'm just trying to put you through this process, and it is up to us to explore and take it further. So what the concept here is, for any student to be part of a research work, we need to have a framework, one. Two, what kind of a thinking process can we have? We can't put them in a box. The box is the classroom here. Put them in the box and tell them, look, this is what is to be done. This is what I will tell you. You understand. The point there is, students now have multiple sources of information. Honestly speaking, 30 years back when we did our UG, the only source of information we had was our teachers. Yes, our teachers were very good at being a knowledge base as compared to what we all are as teachers, because their commitment levels were absolutely different from what we have now. So the point there is, we had only one source of information or knowledge, which is our teachers and the books recommended by them. But today it is not so. We have people claiming on the social media and the TV how you can become a coder when you are, as soon as you're born. This is the kind of information, overwhelming information that is being given. At 3, you become an excellent Nobel Prize winner. At 4, you become an excellent coder. At 6, you start earning 1 crore of rupee. So when that sounds very interesting, I was so surprised to see Byju's starting an online class for 0 to 3 years, somewhere in the kindergarten stage. I don't know what exactly will they learn. We try to always put them in a box and say, see, this is what you will have to learn. Now it doesn't work anymore like that. There has to be some kind of, what I can say, a messy learning. A messy learning is, you throw the child out in the open, let it learn by doing mistakes. The advantage of learning by doing mistakes is, they know, yes, mistakes are likely to happen. Two, they also learn that they are likely to fail, which actually strengthens their mental well-being. Today, the students are not able to even accept that they can likely go wrong. They always, even if they go wrong, they want to be told, you're fine, you're all right, you're doing well. So this kind of a total transformation from the existing scenario to what the education policy recommends. Who gets hit the most? We, the teachers, are going to get hit the most, because we will be compelled to put something into the student's mind which he is not familiar with. With this, we will just go through the UG. First, we will take the topic of UG research. UG research basically requires students to become volunteers. They should be part of the teaching process. We have a role to develop their higher order thinking skills. We'll come to that, we call it as HOTS. People who have dealt with Bloom's taxonomy will know what HOTS is. We should ensure that they are creative and innovative. We should do something to develop their critical thinking and also design thinking. When it comes to creativity, innovation, critical thinking, and design thinking, these are the four jargons that we are using today. All the four are practically new to each one of us. We may not know much about what all this is talking about, but what exactly we can do is try to understand. We as teachers should be taking efforts to explore what has happened in these areas, and if necessary, we should be prepared to spend some money and attend some courses on this. You look at many of the online courses that offers courses in design thinking, how to become creative. There was a time when people thought creativity comes naturally and it cannot be taught, but subsequently it was found creativity is something that can be taught. So these are the skills that we need to help the student to acquire, and our role now is not to teach them only the curriculum. So now what happens, the student can participate in a research in any of the following levels. When you look at the levels, 1, 2, and 3 are basically staff initiated. Level 4 and 5 are student initiated. According to me, we are now at level 1, where the students are assigned and informed. What happens here, at level 1, students are assigned to research tasks. They are informed about the research and why they are doing it. To this extent only the students are involved in their research. But what the world now is looking at is level 5, student initiated, no staff interference. Once the outcome is given, the decisions are shared with the staff. You can feel the difference between level 1 and level 5, and there are other levels in between. Naturally, to reach level 5, we need to go through the other levels also. Now, the research skill development framework is looking at what is the degree of student involvement. When you look at our bachelor's, these are the steps that are involved in this research. Now, what is the extent to which in India students are involved in this is, when I look at the bachelor's degree, all of them are low. Students are not involved in our research at all. When it comes to master's degree, there seems to be a variation. And at the PhD level alone, we are looking at teachers, students, PhD students being part of the teaching and the research experience. Now, this is a suggestion. This framework is something that says how we can transform the teaching process. The teaching can be research-led, teaching can be research-oriented, teaching can be research-tutored, teaching is research-based, teaching is research-informed. These are the 5 methods where the teacher and the student, here in the case researcher is what we have given, but we actually mean the students, they need to be involved in the teaching process. And in addition, the curriculum is not what I'm talking about teaching. It is, say for example, the teacher has identified a research problem. The student has to be involved in the research problem. Problem statement is to be given to the student, and the student starts discussing with the teacher as to what he understands from the problem statement. The requirement here is there should be a mindset for us to allow the students to ask questions. Why is something we should allow the student to ask? We always will have to allow them to question. We don't have to give answers to all the questions because we are not a superhuman to give answers. But what we as teachers, because the problem comes only when we think when a student is asking a question, we should answer. Not necessary. We can take the question, we can always help him to find the answer, which every teacher can develop that skill. Problem is only when you try to answer all the questions, and when we fail to answer the questions, we ultimately feel low. No, we need not answer the question. For example, when I talk about creativity, I am no authority. I am a novice in creativity. Even if I learn at this age, I don't think I'm going to become a highly creative mind. Not all of us can become creative. But as a teacher, what I can tell my students is, start looking at being a little more creative. This is something we can do. Then it becomes a responsibility of the student to explore more and see how he can develop his creativity. This is again a shift in what we are trying to do. Don't try to understand that you are there to give the answers. We as teachers are here to only streamline and help the students find the answer. Now, each one of us are familiar with this Bloom's taxonomy. Almost most of us would have learned this Bloom's taxonomy at some point of time when we started our teaching career. It says, initially you remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. This is what the Bloom's taxonomy talks about, where the top three, creating, evaluating, and analyzing, are called higher order thinking skills. We normally stop with the lower order thinking skills, where we make the student remember everything. To some extent, they understand. Only a few of them apply it to their everyday life. The first three are something that we are not subjecting our students to, but now there is a need where we need to make the student creative. We should help them to analyze and evaluate what they are doing. So it becomes more of an involvement from the student to do a self-study. Now, what is this creative thinking and critical thinking that we are talking about? There are a lot of points that have been given here. What is creative thinking? Why is creativity very much required? It is the thinking we do when we generate ideas. Basically, creative thinking is helping us to generate ideas. When the idea turns out to a product or a prototype, then it becomes an innovation. So if you want to be an innovator, you will have to have a critical thinking. The creativity and innovation go hand in hand. And if you look at when was the last time something innovative happened in our country, it is way back when some of the mathematicians found something new, and that was their creativity and innovation. After which there was a total period of 30-40 years where nothing creative happened in our country. For example, creativity. Let us take again an e-commerce service oriented innovation where Amazon really took over e-commerce platform. I think many of us will accept this. Amazon is the player, and they have taken over service as a very good innovation. They found out so many ways of doing it, and today there is nothing that you don't get using Amazon. So this is their way of creativity. They didn't stop with just thinking of it. How many of us really would have thought it is possible to deliver it? We in our country, we talk about delivering the ration products at home. If Amazon has already done it, then what? It's something equal to it, but we will never do it because we are not interested in really converting that idea into a product which results in innovation. So we can look at so many things like that. There is, say, for example, your Google and Facebook. Google and Facebook really took the social media by storm. Nobody thought that the social media can be so powerful. Yes, there are some negative aspects of it, but then any technology depends, the success depends upon how you really want to use it. Now, this is again a creative idea which turned out to be a product, and it became an innovation. Now we are looking at TV. I was surprised to see a mobile phone that you could fold and keep it in your pocket and use it. Now, nobody would have thought of folding a mobile screen, but that is how a creative idea became a product, the innovation. People are able to even fold your TV and use it. So way of thinking is very essential, and this has to be inculcated in our students is what is the requirement. And then we are talking about creative education. A creative education has to look at some top creative thinking skills. Students should be taught to analyze the things first, organize them. What is very important in all these skills is the fundamental idea is you should be able to analyze, write, and communicate. Now, this writing skills and communication skills are something that we generally lack. As teachers also, we have some inhibitions. We are not very comfortable in communicating unless we are prepared for it. So communication skills is very, very important. Strong written and oral skills, ability to listen and ask the right questions is very important to create a creative thinking skills. Problem solving is the ability to solve an important issue. When it comes to problem solving, it moves on to what we call it as a critical thinking. How do you do this critical thinking? Critical thinking is just not looking at one problem and trying to get a solution and stop it. You should identify what are all the possible solutions, how logically it is possible. And once you have a number of solutions, you choose one and pursue it and see that you solve the problem. If in case we are not able to solve the problem, we should backtrack and then again try to take the next solution that we have thought of. This is what is critical thinking made of, and we need to tell our students they need to develop their critical thinking skills. Then open-mindedness is we also, because when it comes to all these skills, you would have seen the advertisement in the TV. It says move from being a parent to a partner. This is what it says. Similarly here, the teacher and the student are partners, and we should have an open mind, because if we permit, students will come up with beautiful ideas that we'll be surprised to see. So we should have an open-mindedness. If all this works out, we will be able to go ahead with what is called a creative education. So when it comes to creativity, you should create a mindset in the classroom where you should foster a question-friendly environment. Practice generating more ideas. Not all the ideas will make sense, but more the ideas, the problem gets analyzed more and you will be able to arrive at the solution. So here we need to do two things. People with creative mind will have a tendency to work on their own alone, and they also need to sit together and do a brainstorming. So it's a mix of this. Practice to generate more ideas, encourage new skills, model the creativity in the classroom, and then as role models of people's most formative years, teachers have a strong influence to encourage or suppressing creativity. This responsibility, though it does not fall on the system, it is worth remembering that almost 100% of students show some creative abilities before becoming students. Everyone as a child will have some kind of a creative mind, and it is up to us to ensure that this is protected and it is still live with the student. And now what happens? Innovation is the creation, development, and implementation of a new product, process, or service with the aim of improving efficiency, effectiveness, and competitive advantage. So we are now moving from a conventional classroom to making it more creative, creativity leading to innovation. And in order to move from creativity to innovative lifestyle, we need to do a lot of critical thinking. Now this critical thinking again goes hand in hand with the what we can call it as the design thinking. Critical thinking and design thinking are two parallel thoughts where both of them exist together. We can call it as something that coexists. Say, for example, when I talk about critical thinking is the ability to think clearly and rationally, understanding the logical connection between ideas. Critical thinking has been the subject of much debate and thought since the time of early periods, and the skills that we need in order to be able to think critically are varied. It includes observation, analysis, interpretation, reflection, evaluation, inference. Now look at all these things. These are all part of how a research is carried out also. So when you develop the critical thinking skills in a student, it automatically supplements his contribution to the research. Someone with critical thinking skill is they can understand the link between ideas. They determine the importance and relevance of arguments and ideas, recognize, build, and appraise arguments, identify inconsistency, approach problems in a consistent and systematic way. They reflect on this justification and then make their own assumptions and beliefs. So this critical thinking, design thinking, all that have a characteristic where it is a sort of a cyclic process. You start with the thinking process, you go step by step, and once you complete it, you again do the cycle again. It's a cyclic process and it does not start and end. It is like a life development cycle that we are talking about. See, these are the top 10 skills to thrive in industry. Just look at it in 5 years, how the industry requirement has changed. And here I have specifically said industry 4.0. When in 2015, whenever a student had to be employable, we said he should have complex problem solving skill. He should be able to coordinate with others, people management. Then came critical thinking, and you look at that, the last requirement of any person who will be employed by the industry is creativity. Now in 5 years time, today complex problem solving still remains the first one, where this complex problem solving requires a lot of critical thinking. That is why teaching the student to think critically becomes very important. Teachers, please ask yourself, are we doing all this in our system? I think no, because our concentration is different, our pedagogy is different. We are, as far as I know, till January 2021, I had been to the classes. We are not doing much of problem solving, critical thinking, but those are the things that are essential for a student when he has to go to the industry. The third important thing is creativity. Now, these three things, problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, all these things, if it is developed in a student, it helps the students in two ways. One, it makes them industry ready. It helps them to increase their research skills if they are really interested in. More importantly, it helps them to become life ready. Today, our students are not life ready because they cannot accept variable things happening. They always are with the mind frame. Everything has to happen in a very nice way for me. I should always be the beneficiary. There is no thinking in the student that tells them something might go wrong. Whenever something goes wrong, let that be an experience. I will learn from the experience and I will move forward to become a better citizen. This is something we are failing to inculcate in the students, and it would be relevant if I tell you that is the reason for many students moving towards a suicidal feeling. The reason is the failure is something unacceptable by the student. But if you really concentrate and make them think, it helps them in understanding their subjects better. It helps them in understanding the industry requirement better. If they are interested in research, it helps them in taking up the research project better. More importantly, it makes them completely life ready. So it is our responsibility to now change the thinking process of the student and make them more creative and innovative. because your education policy also says you need to do a lot of innovation. We don't want you to test the student by a mere marks on 100. Are they really skilled for the future? Now, when it comes to skilled for the future, there is something that is again coming up, what we call it as a liberal education. A liberal education is basically a multidisciplinary approach. A student has to learn a little of many subjects and concentrate on one at a later stage, say after 3 years. Today, it is not so. Even at the school level, we bring in a specialization. Once a specialization is brought, we are narrowing down their curriculum and focusing more towards, we are trying to deep dive into a particular subject at an early stage. For example, the normal thing that we do is when you take a BCom course. A BCom, we had only one commerce that was dealing with number of subjects, and people moved on to specialization only when they moved to PG. Now today, sorry state of affairs, I do not know the rationale behind it. BCom has the original one, which they call it as BCom General. What is General? We do not know. There is something called a BCom General. Then there is something called a BCom Accounting and Finance. There is something called BCom. Now what is happening is, if I'm right, there are about 10 flavors of BCom that is offered to the students. Can anyone tell us what is the primary difference between each flavor? They will be doing a set of subjects. Only thing is, what they do in the first semester in one BCom, they may be doing it in the second semester. By and large, 60-70% of the subjects will be same, and only a few subjects will be different. Another handicap that I have observed in our curriculum is there is something called an elective. Excepting a few colleges, when it comes to elective, what we normally do is elective is chosen mostly not by the student, it is chosen by the teacher themselves. So ultimately, the reason could be for classroom adjustment, for want of teachers, whatever they are, for ease of operation. And finally, there will not be any difference between a core class and an elective class. Elective, the purpose of giving 4 subjects itself is for the student to explore what he would be happy about. But we conveniently most of the time put them all into one elective. So this is the kind of curriculum and the pedagogy we try to use at the UG level. But what we are looking for is something totally different, where there cannot be time frame, there cannot be curriculum restriction. Students should be involved in developing the curriculum is the new education policy statement. Just look at it. There is going to be a phenomenal shift from where we are now to where we are expected to move. And I repeat, we, the teachers, are the one who will have to catch up with this faster than anybody else. Parents will happily sit and say, it's a responsibility of the teachers, but that they are responsible for inculcating the thought process in their child as they grow. But that part of it is conveniently forgotten. Again, there is going to be a lot of change at the school level, but the only unfortunate thing is both at the school and the college level, things are going to happen at parallel. So there will be a lot of difficulties for us at the college level to implement all this. And when talking about research, there is a requirement to move them towards a different thinking skills. So when we talk about thinking skills, all this can be achieved only when each and every one of us are digitally literate. We were moving from being an illiterate to a literate crowd, and most of the time we have seen Kerala claiming that they are 100% literacy level. Sometimes other states, a few of the states say, no, we are 100% literate. But has the literacy really helped us in handling the day-to-day problem? No, because today we have the pandemic, and this is the literate crowd that refuses to understand even what the COVID appropriate behavior is. So what is literacy trying to achieve? What is the outcome of the literacy? We don't know. What is the outcome of the education? We do not know, or it does not happen. But now we are totally moving from all this literacy to something called a digital literacy. Now, this digital literacy is not just using your G Suite or your Microsoft products. That is just learning to use the product. Most of us as teachers feel we are digital literates because we are able to use the G Suite. No, we are not digital literates, because as a digital literate, we should have, again, there you look at it, you should have creativity. Digital literacy requires critical thinking, and evaluation is something we don't make the student part of. Students' output or understanding will improve only when they are part of the evaluation. So critical thinking is essential, evaluation, cultural and social understanding. We are now compelled to admit students not only from India. People who have worked with the NIRF would have realized that the country wants us to admit foreign students. So once there are, we have a problem when we admit students who are outside Tamil Nadu itself, we get into a lot of problems. And now if you try to admit students outside the country, you should have a cultural and social understanding. You should know how to collaborate. You should also have the ability to find and select information. Once you put something in the Google browser, it throws to you so much of information. First question is, how much of it is authentic? How much of it is right? Two, how much of it is really relevant? Once you pump too much of information into the brain, the brain becomes a sort of, there is a lack in the brain to understand what is right and what is wrong. People who are using the social media would have come across the fact checking is something that is very crucially happening here. We are compelled not to forward everything as and when it comes. The primary reason is people are able to create information as though it is true. The way they use the logo, the header, the reports, the signature concept. When you look at all that, you immediately get a feeling, oh, maybe this information is true. So this is where we need to be very, very careful. E-safety is what we are talking about, to understand whether what we are seeing is right. You should know how to effectively communicate. You should have all the functional skills. And this digital literacy is made up of 5 components: the academic literacy, disciplinary literacy, adult and professional literacy, digital and media literacy, and information literacy. You take both the diagrams talks about how to use the technology, how to use it safely, cyber safety and security. We all know what I'm talking about. How to effectively search. Some people are excellent in searching using the Google. They know how to put the keyword, how to put certain words, and they will get the solution or the information fast. So how to really improve your search skills, what is creativity, what is study skills. You look at all this, your digital literacy again demands that you should be creative, critical, and there should be some amount of design thinking also. And when it again comes to design thinking is a journey of learning and discovery. It is a way of strategizing, which we normally call it as designing. You should start at the beginning, learn how to be a design thinker, build your confidence, learn how to coach, stay focused, help teams, and encourage multiple perspectives. The design thinking basically is an iterative, non-linear cycle, which involves developing a deep understanding of users' unmet needs. So design thinking basically is you treat everybody to whomsoever you are providing a service as your customer, understand what the unmet need of your customer is, and then provide something for them to solve their requirements. This is what we as teachers should do. We should develop a design thinking mindset. Design thinking is a byproduct of creativity and innovation. If you develop your design thinking skills, you will be able to innovate better. For example, if you look at, if I'm right, in today's paper, there, I think today is 28th. Yesterday's paper, there has been an inauguration by the research team of IIT Madras startup that has designed a house using 3D printing. How many of us know 3D printing? Most of us have heard of 3D printing. It basically designs or draws something using a CAD, and this is then made into slices. The slices are printed and the slices are assembled to form a product. This is a simple way of understanding the 3D printing. And some startup who is again a student of IIT Madras has given a beautiful idea where using 3D printing, it is possible to build a house in 5 days. Can you really imagine this? 5 days may become 6 days, but almost every one of us have been part of building a house or buying a flat at some point of time. Either our parent would have bought it or we ourselves would have done it. What is the minimum time required? It is anything between 16 months to 24 months. That's a minimum time required. But what is happening now? What is proposed now? It is 5 days. And this is what is called a creative thinking. Now, when it comes to creative thinking, I'm telling you, this is a finding of a student of IIT Madras. He had a creative thinking. He had the courage to put that thinking across to students or to people. He was prepared to take the risk. He could convince the funding people, what you call it as venture capitalists. He could convince them with his proposal, take funds from them, convert it into an innovation. And it may take some more time for it to really come into action. But this is what is the need of the hour. We need people. We as teachers should create our own thinking skills, then transform it to the students. So our role is no longer teaching them the curriculum. We need to put all these ideas into the student. Once these things go into the brain of the student, they will automatically lean, a few of them will lean towards research. But the fact remains, all the students are not interested in research. All the students cannot become creative. So it is up to us to have different measure for different requirements. And the teacher's role is now changing. But what does not change in the role of the teacher is whether it is a teacher of yesterday or the day before yesterday or today or tomorrow. Every teacher should have an expert communication skill, superior listening skills. நமக்கு டீச்சர்ஸ்க்கு நார்மலா வந்து இந்த கேட்கிற தன்மையே வந்து கொஞ்சம் கம்மியா இருக்கும். எனக்கு தெரியும் நீ சும்மா இரு. This is the kind of I am not telling you, I am telling us. So superior ஒரு listening skills வேணும். We should have a deep knowledge and passion. This passion, knowledge is what you have. Passion is you need not have an information on the subject, but then you have a passion to put the student on the right place to look for the knowledge. You should have the ability to build caring relationships. When it comes to the ability of building caring relationship, we do not want you to become very personal with the students. Caring is different from becoming personal. Becoming one of their family member is not what we are talking about, but you should be able to build caring relationship. There should be some friendliness and the teacher should be approachable. Teachers should have excellent preparation and organization skills. You should have a strong work ethics. Community building skills. The community building skills is taking care of the society around you. You should set the expectations high for all your students. We as teachers should be professional and collaborative. These are some of the wonderful qualities that I'm talking about, but a teacher should also have a high sense of humor, good personality. When it comes to personality, we talk about both the inner personality and how you really look outward. But that physical personality, it is not in terms of the height or the color or your hair being like this, no, but there is also a way of being well groomed. You should be flexible, kind. If all this, and we should be very calm. Once all these factors that I have put across today are attempted with full sincerity, we will become better teachers and we will be able to develop students with better research interest. So this is about how to really make your students research involved. Always involve your student in your teaching process. If you are doing a research, involve your student in collecting data. If, say, for example, you are doing a research and you want some questionnaire to be asked or somebody is to be interviewed, you please make your student do it. There are two ways of doing it. Initially, the teacher has to be part of every process, which means periodically review should be made with the student till such time you are confident the student has understood. Once the student has understood, you can take the student to the next level where you allow the student to analyze the data. So this becomes taking a student along with you right from the first step of data collection, analysis, making some inferences, and then going on to writing your research. So if this is done, again, here the problem is you should not think of your research problem, which means you will have only one in hand and you may require at the most 2 students. We are not looking at it. When it comes to involving students doing research, we as teachers become research supervisors, but at a little low level, because our research scholars are students, that too UG students. We should be able to identify few problems, not one, then identify or group the students, give one problem to each student and handle them as independent groups. If this is done, they will start growing along with us and they will get involved in research. Here today, this has to be done in addition to their UG curriculum. But as we move on, there will be more flexibility and more students will be able to inculcate the research spirit and skills in due course. So this is about my thoughts on how to involve UG students. I also have given a rule book for teachers, what we are supposed to do and what we are not supposed to do. I have already shared this PowerPoint with your organizers. This is again trying to put you, and it is up to every individual teacher to search, explore, and find out solutions or things that are closer to your heart and that you are interested in. I'm not giving a solution for all of the problems that is existing. So I leave it to the participants to ask me if you have any doubts, and if I know, I will tell you or I will put you on to the correct source. Critical thinking skills is very simple. Define the question, discover all aspects of the problem, dream and brainstorm, design the solution, deliver the goods, debrief and review. This is all. We call it as the 6 Ds of solution fluency. These are the 6 Ds. If done one after the other, the student will be able to develop his critical thinking. So Sudha ma'am can ask if they have got any doubts or anything that they feel is not relevant to them.
Participants, do you have any clarification you can ask? Or even you can text in chat box also.
You can text in chat box. I think I will see if I can share my, I have shared my mail ID also. I would be happy to receive any of your doubts, and I will definitely be able to put you in a place where you can search for the answer. I am not the solution provider.
Thank you.
Ma'am, good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
Ma'am, yesterday you told me to I'll say about the agent fees which is available for
No,
available in Tamil.
I am not telling it today. That's a big topic by itself. I will share it with the organizers. They will share it with you. It is just information of the various funding agents, if that is what you are asking. That is just a Word file that I can share it.
Okay.
Along with their website and some mail IDs that we used to collect. You can always go through the website, talk to them or mail them and get more information. That is, I will share it with the organizer.
Okay. Thank you.
And most importantly, the education policy today is talking about multiple exit points. Earlier, if it is a 3-year program, a student enters and they will have to study all the 6 semesters and you give them an undergraduate degree. Today, the education system is looking at multiple exit points. Earlier, if they leave any time before the completion of 3 years, we will classify them as discontinued. Whereas today we have, if they study only for 1 year, they will be given a certificate. If they study for 2 years, they will be given a diploma. If they study for 3 years and exit, they will be given a degree. If they study for 4 years, they can be pushed into PG, where it is enough if they do only 1 year of the PG. You can imagine the amount of changes that we have to make in our existing system. 60 பேர் first yearல வந்து சேருவான். Last when they come to the 3rd year, maybe we will have only 20 students. So we will be more concerned about what will happen to the workload. Will a teacher have a workload, whether she will be able to teach? In the madri problems alone we will be concentrating on. But once it becomes flexible, it is going to become a challenge for the management, the principal and the teachers to seamlessly make this change. You just see the education policy. It speaks so much about what the country wants, and what we really have is nowhere near that. And the sorry state of affairs is we are only concerned about not having the national education policy translated in Tamil. But in fact, we already have the national education policy translated into Tamil. So you look at what your government wants. The government or the governance or the administrators are more interested in ensuring that something doesn't happen. So again, it is going to be a challenge, which will be a burden on the teachers. So teachers will have to develop their skills right from today.
Dr. Sumati asked one question.
Students
are not coming out of their circle. How can we make them, that too with online session? Any idea? She asked.
Simple answer: students not coming out of their circle, whatever she means as a circle. The teacher's responsibility is to spend more time, understand why. So today's scenario, we are finding it very, very difficult, ma'am, because to say, for example, 8 to 12:30 is shift 1. And the 8 to 12:30, like, even if you want to spend time with the student, there is no place where you can sit and talk. 2, if you start talking with the student, it is not received well by some people. So நம்மளோட மைண்ட் செட்ல it is really difficult. But for this to happen, we should have more time inside the campus. We should have more space inside the campus. We should have better infrastructure into the campus. Unless otherwise, all these ஒரு மரத்தடியான் இருக்கணும் for a teacher and a student to talk. And once a teacher and a student starts talking, there should be a maturity of people around to understand that is not their problem. You should keep going. So this is not a easy question that you have posed. It requires a total transformation of the mindset. It will take time, but individually each one of you can make efforts, because you know if a particular student is good, you know how to pull them out and tell them they are capable of much more. It's a process and it's a hardship only.
Ma'am, but during this online session, we are not able to, ma'am.
You can't, because they are not used to it, ma. And they are not seeing any benefit out of the online session, because finally they know they are going to write an open book exam. See, and the problem really is the student of today whom you have admitted is not interested in knowledge gaining. They are interested in getting a degree. So you can't expect anything more from them. What we want is not what is possible with the kind of generation we have. So it is going to be a long drawn process. And the students were not put into the online class they were not prepared for the online class. Many of our students do not have the infrastructure to attend online class. And also when you look at us as teachers, நீங்க உட்கார்ந்து பாருங்க, ஒரு டார்க் பேக்ரவுண்ட்ல டீச்சரோட முகம் கூட தெரியாம நிறைய டீச்சர்ஸ் மொபைல்ல ஆன்லைன் கிளாஸ் எடுக்கிறாங்க. What kind of an impression will the student have? Compare this with the MOOC or the Coursera courses that some of us are doing. Can you compare the quality? I'm not
Yes,
talking
ma'am.
about your knowledge. I am talking
Yes,
about
ma'am.
the video quality. So
Very true, ma'am.
this online class that we have been suddenly pushed into, it was not because we wanted to go online because of the pandemic. But this pandemic is now teaching us a lesson. Every institution should have its own learning management system. We can't escape from that. Spend time, take good quality courses, organize them, put them properly so that the students, and the culture இல்லாத பையனை பிடிச்சு அவனை பாரு, இப்பவே நம்ம பேசிட்டு இருக்கும்போது we are seeing a disturbance. அவன் வீடே ஒரு ரூம் தான், அந்த ரூம்ல தான் சமைக்கிறாங்க, அந்த ரூம்ல தான் everybody is doing it. So this learning is not going to be effective at all. மேம்
Yes,
மியூட் பண்ண சொல்லிடுங்கம்மா ஹோஸ்ட. மியூட் ஆல். Maybe accepting the speaker, you can mute all.
Yes, ma'am. No persons in the chat box. Participants, I request any two of the participants kindly give your feedback about 2 days FDP. I request at least 2 participants who can speak about 2 days FDP. Feedback about the FDP. Any volunteers? Ma'am, Nappine ma'am. Ma'am, Nafini ma'am. Geeta ma'am, can you give your feedback? Geeta ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
personally, what you felt? You
Yes,
can
ma'am.
start.
Really, myself, Dr. Geeta, working as assistant professor in this Kanyaka Parmeshwari Arts and Science College. Really, the 2-day session was very useful, very informative, and you have invoked so many thoughts with us. And really, we will try to implement all your points, what you have shared in these 2 days. And we will try our level best to innovate, to bring the creativity, everything from the students, from our side, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable thoughts towards us, madam. Thank you so much.
Jaya ma'am, Jaya ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Can I?
Yes.
Ma'am, thank you. Really, it was very informative, and I'm from the English department from Kanika Parameshwari College. And for me also, it was very useful. And what all points you stressed was really very practical and what we are facing. Like you said, electives are not chosen by the students. Even if you take our syllabus, even we don't have the choice. It is already prescribed by the syllabus by the university. And the way the teachers are handling and the pandemic situation, the attitude of the students and attitude of the teachers, everything what you said, I totally agree. And very useful information was passed on to us, like how to handle this, how to motivate the students, how to make them to take part along the curriculum, how to involve themselves. All that was really, really, really very useful, ma'am. Thanks a lot. I'm really very thankful, ma'am. Thank you.
Participants, one point here is our crowd is large. We have about, the population is so much, but each one of us can make an effort in being ethical, being value based, and that is something that is personal. See, if I am good and if I am straightforward, I don't think anyone is going to say no, don't do it. They may not practice, we may not have a majority on that, but if as an individual I decide, I have a conviction, I say this is how I am going to be, whether you get awards or money or material benefits, you will have the satisfaction. Let me tell you, there is no better satisfaction than the respect you earn from your own child. Unless otherwise we are ethical, we follow values, we think good, you don't even have to do good. நல்லது நினைக்கும் போதே you become a better person. As teachers, we have the responsibility to be a better person, because this vibe, positive vibe, is something we are going to transform it to the students. If the teacher is good and the teacher says no, you should not do it, I tell you, even today students are prepared to hear it. That has not changed at all. Only when we are going late to the class, or when we talk in an abusive language, or we are not doing our duty properly, when we are partial, these are some of the aspects that makes you a very, very bad teacher. The student will never be in line with us. But a student, an young mind, is yet to be corrupted by the world. They are less corrupted as compared to us, is the fact. 17 வயசுக்கு when they come to us, they are less corrupted. If they will be able to see the goodness in every teacher, and this is what a student community of today expects. They are not looking at you for the knowledge that we as teachers possess. So role is very, very important and crucial. We need to develop ourselves to become good teachers.
Morning, ma'am.
Yes.
I'm Madhu Kritika, Head Department of Computer Applications from KRMMC.
KRMC, okay. சொல்லுங்க மேம்.
Ma'am, I would really like to personally appreciate you. The reality, what you spoke very frankly, and the session was really very good.
Thank you.
Whatever you told was the reality, what's happening. And we as teachers have to break the barrier in case we need to establish a curriculum with research.
Yes, ma'am. System cannot be changed by us. It has to change as something different. Policies cannot be framed by us. What the university wants to do is again in line with the policy that the government says. What is the governing authority doing? They have their own requirement. So if we need to really function, we have limited scope, but yes, we can do wonders in the limited scope. I have personally felt satisfaction in doing things the way I want in the 30 years. And some of the students still feel, yes, this teacher has really put us in the right track in the life. This is what we can do. We can't bring wonders in all the 70 lives that is given to you. But even if you are able to make a change in one life, your role as a teacher is done. Let's not take the whole crowd and try to do miracles in them.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Welcome.
If any participants are willing to share feedback, you can say, otherwise we can wind up. No questions in the chat box. Mighty?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you can propose the vote of thanks.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. A very good morning to all. It gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for this event. At first, I would like to thank our resource person, Dr. B. Purna ma'am, who gave an idea to tap the research talents among students. And ma'am also gave a lot of ideas like how to take a new path in research. Thank you, ma'am, for making this FDP more interesting and successful. I would like to convey my special thanks to our management, honorary correspondent, principal, and vice principals for their constant support and encouragement. I extend my sincere thanks to my HOD ma'am for arranging this valuable program and all computer science department faculties for their support in making this event success. Last but not least, I thank our participants from various colleges for making this event a grand success. Thank you all, ma'am.
Thank you, ma. Thank you. Any kind of feedback I would like to hear through the organizers so that I can also improve based on the requirements of the audience. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am. I will share.
Thank you.
Ramya, can you share the feedback link?
Ma'am, shall I, ma'am?
Yes. Ma'am, really it is an eye-opener for me. I'm being a teacher for more than 18 years, but all your points are very useful for us, ma'am. We will surely try with your guidance, ma'am.
I'm always there. That is why I shared my mail ID. Please do keep in touch, because the experience or as a person, whatever I want can be done only through the teachers. So teachers, please feel free to keep in touch.
Yes, ma'am. I think teachers require a lot of patience and they should keep on trying.
Yeah,
to make them, that is to make the student to think critically, we should try at least with consistency.
Students are not our enemies. That is what is the mindset that we should have. One. Two, we have children at home of that age group. We know how they respond, how they react, what they talk about their teachers at home also we know. How many of us as parents or relatives correct them? We are happy when your child reacts in a particular way about the college or the teacher. We don't put them down and say, you have no business to talk. Most of us don't do it. So then if that is not done at home, how do you expect the students to react differently in college? So it is a full process where each one of us have a responsibility. We can't teach the others the responsibility, but we can try to make earnest efforts at our end and make it a better place. That's all.
Sudha ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, this is Barney from Kanyaka Parameshwari College.
Hi.
I would like to say something, ma'am. Can I?
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, first I should thank you for bringing such a wonderful resource person. When she's keep on saying something along with value, she's adding. So whatever she wants to convey, she's also training us. We have to teach along with some values. So last point, what she said was really acceptable. We should have some values and ethics. So, ma'am, really, we are blessed to have you as a resource person today. Yesterday itself, it was an eye-opener session. How new education policy is going to bring challenges and how the teachers are going to face. But today, when you keep on speaking, it is like Madhurama Kadula Koite irku, ma'am. So, thank you for giving such a wonderful opportunity, ma'am.
I should thank the organizers because they had confidence in me that I was doubtful if I can do it for 2 days. They said, no, ma'am, we have been with you for so many years. Please do share your expertise.
Even yesterday also the session was immediately wind up. Ayyo இன்னும் கொஞ்ச நேரம் போயிருக்கலாமேடா இருந்தது. So today also the session is going in that way, ma'am. நீங்க பேசுறச்ச கேட்டுட்டே இருக்கலாமா அப்படின்னு. So thank you.
Sudha, ma'am. Sudha had a doubt whether we can hold you for 1.5 hours, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So I have justified my time.
Yes, ma'am. I received the same feedback what Bharani said from my own department staff also. They also now also today I wrote some points, ma'am. While you are teaching, I was not able to continue. So that much of information you are giving to us, and for the past so many years, I was thinking. I was not able to make the student to make a student panamatanga. Like that only I have also mindset but now I have some confidence, little bit motivation along with whatever you said. No, ma'am, if I try, definitely I can make at least 2 students, I think.
Ma, simple solution, ma. Don't look at the problem as a whole. Break it down, bring it into smaller pieces, address only 1 or 2 students at a time. And the 1 or 2 students, when you start seeing the change in them, others also will change and it will become a movement. How does a movement start? It starts in small pieces. So we should not be looking at 70 பேர் university rank வாங்க வைக்கணும், 70 பேரையும் பாஸ் பண்ண வைக்கணும், 70 பேரையும் attentive-ஆ இருக்க வைக்கணும். You will completely fail if you try to do it. What you can tell them is, see, this is my class. Please come before I come. Otherwise, you stay out. Adhukku mele extra words we are not allowed to talk as teacher is the reality. You all know how you should treat your student. It has to be done with all royal behavior. And so don't allow the student, don't talk anything extra. If they disturb you in your class, if you are not interested, please leave. 1 or 2 words you do it. Concentrate and develop more on the students who are interested and who are likely to change. Once you start bringing in changes, automatically you are likely to make it a bigger crowd. That's all. Beyond that, we are not even the Almighty is unable to do things on a larger scale. So we are all small people in that. Let us not worry about trying to do it on a larger scale. Try to do it on a very small, achievable scale.
Thank you, Bharani.
Thank you, ma'am. So anything to be done or can I leave the meeting?
Just I check the chat. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma. Let's meet. Let's continue to keep in touch. Ma.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Thank you, ma. Thank you. Thank you all participants.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, Sudha, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, please give me her mail ID, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Shall I? Yes, ma'am. Shall I post in the chat box, ma'am?
Okay.
Just a minute. Ma'am, I posted in chat box, ma'am. You can take. Or else in the PPT, I will share, ma'am. In that, ma'am has added at the end of the slide. I will share the PPT to her.
Ma'am, please send the Word file, ma'am, in which she said about, organizer's name for project, no, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Till now, she didn't share, ma'am. Once she shares, surely I will send, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a very wonderful organized event.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So you organized a well effective and well-known fabulous resource person.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am was the first PhD in Madras University, I think. She's very knowledgeable, so that's what I requested 2 days session.
Okay.
So normally we used to listen only 1 hour. No, I thought so it would be better if we divide it into 2 days.
Okay. Actually, she's she's from Dr. Janaki MGR College, right now, ma'am?
No, ma'am. She's the former principal of Triple S Jain College.
Oh, okay.
And in Ishwari Engineering College, ma'am has worked for many years, I think. In MGR University also she works.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.